Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning. I'm Hazel, and today we are going to be doing our over-analyzing Hazel today for SpellRogue. Now, we're going to jump straight into a run. What we're going to do, because we are going to focus on basically trying to use the most efficient ways we possibly can do, we're going to set up with this build. We're going to go for the power scaling as well. We've done this one in the past fairly recently as well. We're going to jump into a Descent 3 run, maybe. Yeah, let's try and get the upgrade out of the Descent 3 while we're at it as well at the same time. And yeah, we're just going to... Should we do that? I do like Earth Song. No, let's do the standard. So this is what you'll be come up. We're going to do the standard run. We'll keep with Descent 2, so we're still difficult rather than jumping into Descent 3. And we're going to basically try and do a basic build with Hazel with the basic setup. And we're going to show how every new player is going to come into this and probably end up using Hazel as well. I'm going to talk through all my decisions. We're going to give a good breakdown. And we're going to see what we can get out of everything. So, when entering Portal, lose 1 spell. Interesting idea. End of third turn, take 1 damage. I do take 5 damage. I do not like that. It's the every bit that's the annoying bit. Enemies start with a regen, and I just get 6 max life. That seems fine. No point re-rolling on there. I'll just take that mutator and go. Let's jump in. So, we took the days, because I was just like, that's going to be what you're going to get given straight away. That's what you're going to be taking. Which means that this really does help you out with your early game defense and stuff. And yeah, we're going to focus on that. So, first thing is, I just want to gain some armor. So we'll do that. At which point, I want to make sure I keep an even on this. So that's what we'll do. And then we'll deal damage to the front guy. They're going to gain power. I'm going to get burnt a little bit. We got some defense to prevent any sort of attacks. That's great. Okay, we do get a 5, so we'll pick that up. We have a 2. Do that again, which gives me 3 and 3, which is 6, which is not enough. So we're going to take a bit of damage here. Got a bit unlucky. But remember, this is actually reducing that by 33%. So it's actually going to... It would be doing like 8 damage, in fact. I'm getting hurt by the annoying little things here. We can do this twice to gain a bit more armor as well, so we'll do that. Just at least kind of hold our health total. So unlike Azar, we don't have ways to heal as easily here. We have to kind of make choices on that a little bit more. So we're going to work our way around that as much as we can. I'm probably going to put that in there just to gain the armor as much as we can. And then I guess we'll do it again just to make sure we have some armor. Again, we're playing it a little bit safe, but I think that is for the benefit of me. And then they'll heal up anyway. Because if they take a turn off to gain power, like, we're probably going to hit them pretty hard, which is what we'll do here then. I take a bit 2 damage. 1, 2. Now, do I take 1 damage to deal damage here? Yes, we do, because it is a kill. So it's playing around what the course of our action is. So let's take the gold and see what spell we get for the first one. Okay. So, if you have watched all of the last video, which is about an hour long of me describing all the spells and going through it all, just to give you kind of a breakdown of what my thoughts are, you probably can tell exactly what I'm going to do when I saw this straight away. Is I'm in an early game scenario. I cannot physically cast these spells easily at all. Ever. The Javelin, I'm probably the closest one to casting on repeat, and there is a question for me to sit there and take this now, because it is actually pretty good damage early game, especially at 4-5, and would probably beat out Earth Spike a little bit, because I can direct this as well. And that's probably the only one I'm thinking about taking, but because there's so many other spells, they're just better in general. And if we're looking at the map here, we do have a thing there, but probably going the 2 elite route, to be honest, in my opinion. We're gonna reroll. And I'm gonna... I should have took it. I'll take the Cultivate Might, because it is a form of scaling and it is a form of defense. It's basically a utility tool for me on a stick, which is kind of, you know, somewhat okay. I'm going to jump into the event here rather than the fight, because I would rather just, like, be able to get something else. Lose a spell, gain gold, or pry open to gain... Every 10 spells cast, gain 2 charges to a random spell. So, that is kind of interesting. And if I get some really good blessing stuff, I would want to take this, because the Sentinel Sigil will mean that there's a good chance that I might be able to get myself to go infinite with this and the blessing stuff. And this is one of those things where, unless you understand the playstyle of the character, you probably wouldn't make the decision to take this. You'd probably leave for just basically keeping yourself safe. Now, I think I've got a good amount of defense to where it's worth me taking this and taking the damage. It may not even work for me long term, but I think it's actually a pretty good option to have right now. Now, here I could go here and take on 2 elites early, then a fight to heal. Or, in my opinion, we can take the easier route to go here to another event, then go here, and then to another event and go to there to heal. So I lose out on getting more spells, but I'm going to have a very more consistent jump in power when I get across there. We'll just take the standard gold. Mighty bosses sound like a... That's fine. Because that only affects bosses. Okay, no, don't jump straight. So, what do I want to do with this, right? This is the question now. Do I make this more flexible? I think I do. It might not be something that stays in my circle as much, but essentially at the moment, it's a better bulwark, right? That's the main thinking of it. So if I do cast it twice, I've still got the bulwark to get defense. They both require defense on odd. They're both doing the same thing, so it's something to always bear in mind. Okay, so this is where Daze really does benefit me quite a lot, right? Because it allows me to get good setup. Now, all I need to do is just gain power, so I can just chuck a 2 in there. Look at that, and we're done. And now I can do... I guess we'll take a bit of chip damage here to, like, kill this thing off if we want to. I got 2, so I only use 4. I can get 4 in there and still gain armor, so we'll do it that way. So this goes straight in there to gain that. So we've actually depleted it as well. We get the kill on this thing. Look at that! Delightful! And this is what I mean by the Daze effect. Like, you don't really realize how much it helps you out until it actually starts helping you out. And it's always something where I'm like, kind of like, until you realize it's actually kind of interesting. 4 into 5 for the defense. I could gain power here as well, which is actually probably like a good idea also. Because we've already attacked. And I think that's actually not a bad choice. So, yeah. Let's do that. Gain a bit of power. Hopefully then the Earth Spike will deal more. So this is the moment where, like, we got a really kind of, like, interesting spell early, to the point where it was actually worth me taking it because of the setup I had, right? And that's one of those things where it's like, I want a 4, but I might just go 6 because that guy's going for this, so... And then we can go here and here, and then gain more power. I'd rather gain the power here because it means that anything I cast later might be more useful. Let's split this die up, see what we get. Do you get a 1 back? The overflow is what I want it to trigger, but it's triggering in the wrong way. Cool. Gain the armor there. I can't gain any more armor except in the 1s, so I guess we'll chuck the 1s in here as well. And that one. Deal 7 damage twice and take a bit of chip. So, Mark's being a problem here. The other issue with Earth Spike is the fact that I can't actually get through these easily as such, so it's kind of a bit of a pain. Actually, no, put the 6 in there. Upgrade that to 5 to gain the armor, and then repeat the process. But yeah, this is an upgraded bulwark at the moment, so it's not bad, but you think I've actually had to invest into getting it to be an upgraded bulwark, which is kind of the problem. And it's the one thing that I kind of mentioned before, is like when you start having to do that, it becomes a very big problem later. We're still getting power here because, like, doing the damage, I think, is kind of awkward. Upgrade that, upgrade that. Gain armor, gain armor, gain armor. We're just going to try and defend myself as much as possible if we're able to. Ooh, this is not a good turn for me, really. Well, we can put that in there. Turn that to a 5, turn that to a 2. That 2 goes there to get that kill. That gives me armor, and that also gives me armor. The issue is, like I said before, is like I can't get through this. So this is where this spell is terrible. Which is kind of why I wanted a different spell earlier, but hey ho. Beggars can't be choosers. Now we start dealing damage. Because like 6s, we can get pretty good kill later on it. To the armor. More armor. And again. And then do the offense. I probably could have killed there, but my brain was not allowing me to figure that out, so... Something you always want to double check is like, do I have lethal type scenarios, right? Okay. So we'll take our thing, and then what spell do we get? Okay, so power is just a decent way, but it means I'm basically removing Cultivate Might from here anyway if I'm going that route, because at that point then we're going power and probably going to this, which we do want to go down that route. You know, just power is I probably wouldn't get as much defense, but it doesn't give me consistent power gain if we ever want it. Fleeting Might is kind of interesting in the same way as that, but I'm happy with power. It can fit into the build currently, and it gives me the flexibility of, like, if I have a 5, to still be able to cast and gain power as well if I only got odd such things. So it gives me that way to invest. Lose that, or pay gold and gain which apply rupture to an enemy when we gain block. Interesting. Or choose to gain a potion. Let's gain a potion, I think. I don't want to lose that for a shard, to be honest. Or do I want to lose that for a shard? Haven't seen much blessing. We're probably going power gain and stuff. So yeah, I guess that's probably not worth it. So we'll make the sacrifice. So I basically got a shard for this currently. So now, what are we going with? Return 1s is that, or basically +1 to a random spell on deplete. Interesting. The upgrade to this to have the sapling is something that I do kind of actually enjoy, because it means I do get that with a +2 on sapling, and I get to keep it around if I need to help me kind of generate die for later turns so I can defend myself. Upgrading this at the moment is kind of interesting. I'm not too sure which way to go on it, so I'll leave it as it is as such for now, and then we'll take my second elite fight. So here, this guy does scale in power as well, so gotta remember that. The Reckoning is very terrible. Basically, if I deplete stuff, I'm gonna be ruined. But that's fine. And then we can actually deal some damage actually with that, can't we? So, gain power here, and then deal some damage. So the Cultivate Might there was actually better than Power, in the sense that I could cast it immediately and still do everything else I wanted. We do this then. Upgrade this to gain at least 5 defense. And then just deal damage. So I want to deplete spells, basically. And then, yeah. Issue I have is the regeneration, but we're kind of outpacing it a little bit, so it's kind of fine. So we do that. We don't need to worry about defense, although that will actually keep working for me anyway. Just gain power from that, and then deal 6 damage. Never mind, deal 7. And 5 armor? Yeah. Oh, that got infected. That's terrible. We'll take 2 damage from that anyway now. Yeah, well, that 5's going in here, I think. Or no. That 2's going in there. We're getting the 5 from there. Upgrade that to a 3. Do we get it to a 4, or do we just gain the armor? I think we just take a bit of a hit here, because I can get lots of that. I can gain 50% life from this later as well. So this turn, I'm going to use this turn wisely. Yeah. Generate extra die. Give that turn when I need to cast them to actually be, like, really good. I think I deal damage here and accept the hit a little bit. No, that's just a terrible idea. That's going to deal more damage anyway if I do that. I think I do just have to take the hit. Interesting. Never thought I'd actually take 6 damage twice from that spell. I could have actually like upgraded that as well, but never mind. So we're doing 12, 12, and 12. There we go. But yeah, you can see that the setup for this is a lot more difficult compared to Azar because I haven't got any other stuff that I wanted. Interesting, Nurture can be pretty good for the build that we're going for, in the sense that it allows me to kind of just give extra die, extra more value, and really kind of flip between the other ones. The issue is it only gives +2, which means it stays odd or it stays even. I just get more value out of it, which is kind of like not really what I want, but then will help me get those sapling die up as well. So it is worth taking it, kind of thing. There is the option to reroll, because what I want is an offensive spell that's going to benefit me more, so we will do that. I'll take the Consecrate here over all of these, because that's just better. I will use one of these to go in there. And like, I could do this and just get like more Blessing, but now I've got this, I can go into this build, so if I get a 2, which I can generate with what I have, we'll heal up here as well. We're going to benefit from basically gaining power easily without any worries. And rolling die more, right? At least that's kind of the plan. So do this, what do we get? We get a 2, so we can chuck the 2 straight in here. We gain the power because it casts it. And we also get a fallback or something. We get another 2, so let's chuck that in there. We gain the Blessing, that becomes a 5, and then we gain more power. So now you see how quick we've managed to turn around and start breaking the game. The issue we have at the moment is our defense isn't that great. So that's our next kind of point of, okay, I need to focus on this. As far as things goes, we're not doing much damage, so we're going to just gain power here while gaining defense. And yes, I could have used this to gain more value as well, but I'm like, eh. Cool. So we can do this straight away to chuck that in there. We do get a 2 back, so I could chuck that in there, but actually that is kind of worth it still. We get a 4. Do that into a 6, and then roll it again. We get a 1. Can't use the 1, so not much doing there. We're going to be taking 7 damage, and that's scaling power. We can actually just deal 11 to that. I cannot gain defense here, which is the issue. So this is why I think I'm going more offensive. Yeah. I guess we just gain 1 to prevent 1, or do we set something else up? Nah. Okay, so that was a bad turn for me. That's me not understanding what I meant to be doing. Because I was like, oh yeah, and it's like, actually no, I probably should look at trying to defend myself more than anything else. And this is why I hated the fact that I don't get actually another good offense spell, because this enemy will keep coming back. Anyway. I'm moaning. You can tell I'm moaning already. We don't have a way to get a consecrate up. I can gain some decent defense, but maybe I should just go all offense. Deal 10 damage, like get 15, which I can do not anymore. So guess we're getting defense here, and then we'll do it again. And just take lots of damage for that. Okay, I want to attack this guy now while I can, so Cool. That's what I wanted, finally. I was thinking, like, where am I going to get one? Let's put that in there and not use the 2 for this turn, because I feel like it's a terrible idea. Actually, am I going to use the 2? I've got to use the 2. Just prevent the, it from doing its thing, and then I guess we'll gain that to gain power, and there's no point using this or that, but we'll use it anyway. I didn't want it to kind of, like, break any of my spells. It'd be very difficult to use and cast it afterwards. Use that then. Take a bit of damage, but not much I can do about it. Okay, now he's gaining power. I'm taking 9 from this thing if we do go for the offensive, which I think we should do still, but we'll roll this first. I would get 4, 14. I think that's enough to stop him gaining power again. So I'm sacrificing 9 health now to prevent this either getting 5 damage on every other turn. So that's the thing where you're going to have to think about the math on that more than anything else, right? So I'll be taking 5 more damage here if I couldn't defend, which is something where it's like, well, how are you meant to stop that? And we'll double check. I can do 16, 16, then that. So we actually do get the win. So that's the kill. I took my own advice. I looked at the math. Finally looked at the math. And let's see what we get. Even turns, every turn, and every turn. They already got 1 power anyway, so that's probably not that bad of a choice. I did say I wanted another offensive one, and Spirit Arrows does really fit the theme of my entire setup that I've got here, and I probably should take it. Yeah, I think it is Spirit Arrows here. I mean, Ultimate Power is also another option as well, and then we get the upgrade to this, and then we are really laughing with 5s and everything else as well, plus usual stuff. Just means I need to upgrade these defensive tools, and everything else is pretty much set. Because this will be the utility, that's a utility as well. We just need then an actual decent payoff for the power, which would be Spirit Arrows anyway. So this is the argument I had before in the last one, going through the explanations of it. What my build currently needs is an offensive tool, because I've got 2 defensive tools, which will work adequately for the moment, but will be outscaled as they were outscaled in the current fight. So we need to upgrade these. Which we do have things like the Whispering Sheep, which could be interesting, but not really kind of the jam as such. But then we also kind of need to have the offensive tool, because otherwise we're not really going to deal enough damage or be able to target things, which is the issue I'm having currently at the moment. The issue is Spirit Arrows doesn't actually target anything. Ultimate Power is my ultimate payoff card, which if I can get it working, we're going to be laughing. The problem is, it's like, is that really going to be worth it? Will I have enough power to actually warrant doing it anyway? And it's too early for me to get the value out of this, but I probably could get the value out of the Spirit Arrows, so that's what we're picking up. Now here, because I don't really want to give all enemies an extra power every turn, or start taking random damage from this because we don't have much defense, I might take the Balanced Mana Pearl, because this will give me an extra die on odd turns where I can kind of stock them up if needed when I do roll 1s, if I'm not going to spell 2s out all the time. So there is that choice in there. Now I could re-roll as well to try and get a better one, which there is that thought, but I think this is just the safer option to take it and move on. Thinking about the options, having more difficult runs, these are the things you'll end up coming with. Like, not all runs will be successful, it's always something to remember that. And yeah, every second turn, random enemy gains 1 power. All elites start with 2 power. Okay, all these are not great for me, so I'm going to re-roll them. Every third turn gains 15, every turn 5 gain 5. I'll just let them have armor every third turn. Right, so every third turn? Yeah, every third turn they can have armor. I should outscale that eventually anyway. We want the early shot because we've got money to spare, and it does go into an elite fight, into the other elite fight, so that seems delightful. That does seem delightful. Oh, and we haven't put wild arrows in, so, but guess it didn't really matter anyway, slightly. Oh, that got nullified. Yeah. As they would say, my brain is big and smart. The one we can't really use, I wish I had that earlier, but never mind. Guess we're dealing damage and trying to defend, which means we're not really getting much defense here, so we might actually be in a position where I am going to not do very well. I'll gain the power from this, as I have to cast it anyway. And to be honest, I might just gain power from this as well, for the exact same reason. If I get more power now, we should be able to kill them quicker later, so... which is the issue that we currently have anyway. So this will give me power and power. I'm going to keep the one around because we've already cast it, and then just deal damage. Or do we scale a little bit? 11 3 times pretty much. 30 damage. Yeah, it's worth just dealing damage here. I'm just keeping this die around. I hate that this suppress works on the next cast of spells. It's an awful feeling. Because, like, how are you meant to get away from that, right? Upgrade that anyway. Do the same here. Maybe get an odd one. Did not. We're taking 16 damage again. This one can go here, I guess. I have to gain some armor, so that goes in there to at least try to stop that from happening. And then take 12 on them. Yeah. We didn't get through the armor, so I don't know why I did that. Yeah, they got 15. Yeah, that's a nightmare. This could be a nightmare problem for me, to be honest. Unless I can actually, like, get the most out of it, to be honest. Another 2, that's good. And it comes at 4. Let's increase this so it becomes a 5 as well for next turn. And then I don't need defense. Technically, but we'll gain it anyway. So I can't do anything else with it. I think the suppress is a nightmare for this fight, and the fact that I don't have my spirit arrows on me because I didn't add it in is also my mistake, so... The good news is the broken and stuff really work here quite nicely to help me out as such. We don't really want to cast the 1. Put that in there, maybe get something decent. We didn't put that in there then, maybe get a 5 or a 3. We did put the 5 in here for some defense, put the 3 in here for some defense. Should have gotten there, to be honest. Open that up. Deal 14 damage, and then more damage. Yeah, just deal all the damage now where we can. Hopefully we can get the kill on the next turn, so we're not in too much of an issue, but... yeah. Not a good sign. I will use this potion to gain some health back here. Because I got the option to do it. And I'm going to gain as much power as I can while doing this, so... bear that in mind. I really shouldn't. I should be defending. I thought I forgot that you had the stupid thing. I gained 2 from that. Damn it. Obstacle problem. But you can see what I mean by the fact that I shouldn't have enough DPS output, enough damage output, that I was having problems. Gleaming Exterior, that's also a nice payoff card for what we're doing. Blossom pretty much does the same thing that we want with my own setup card, which is also kind of good as well. I think Gleaming Exterior is kind of what I want to take because it does have decent payoff with the blessing and stuff. But then we're trading out the Bulwark for that as well. So yeah, we're going to go something like this, and then I think, to be honest, we go with Spirit Arrows here. Oh well. The random enchant seems interesting. Prowl, thank you very much. I'll take that. Should we try for this? No. Now we take it. Let's get an artifact. End to deplete the rightmost spell, gain block, gain tenacity, 4 block. I will take that as well because I don't plan gaining more than that per turn. Prowl comes out in now. We get -1 to everything. So Gleam Exterior is also kind of interesting. Yeah, I guess Cultivate Might is the thing that we end up getting rid of. For the particular reason of just like putting Bulwark in, but then Bulwark can not do the same thing anyway, so there's no point, right? Another one of these. On a 4 roll, -2 countdown. Only countdown spell of So Power, and that's been casted free anyway, so it's terrible. When entering boss fight, heal for 20. Every second one is re-rolled. That seems kind of good, but not really. I'm going to disenchant Bulwark. And I think Earth Spike. Just so I can reroll this. Power gives the double the effect, but is reduced by 1 each turn. That seems really good. On turn 2, gain growth. I want both of those, but Mystic Hammer with the setup we currently have seems like a really good option. I will take that. Might seem like a bad choice, but I feel like it gives me the best output for what I want. Now my issue now is I don't have any healing and I have to fight at least one elite fight anyway, so we might as well get it done immediately. And then we got the second shop and we can probably maybe have some fun on that. And it's this guy. He's going to set up his Malediction, which I do not like. We're going to get a 6 first though, and we're going to do that and gain the armor. Remember, we keep armor every turn, so it is worth us doing. Do it again. And then do that. I think we just hold on to that for now. Yeah. I do lose 1 power though, so not the best. I'm gonna do this now, which should remove the affliction. It does remove the affliction. How delightful. And we're gonna gain that. We're gonna gain that. We're gonna turn this 3 into a 4. So we got the 4 to use when ready. That 5 could become something else. This gives me that. That could become a 6 to go into this to gain more. And then armor for that. So there you get -1. Do it again. And then increase you by that. Yeah. And this is what we had with the armor setup. This is the whole reason why we did it. I don't have a 6 here, so not much else I can do other than the other choices. So I could get 1 6, but then I can't really, like, force cast anything else. It's still worth getting the 6. Like, it's 2 Blessing, which I can actually use really well, so let's set that up. And then gain some armor here, and deal 11 damage 3 times. Which actually gets, like, yeah, ×2, which is 8 damage from this. Thank you very much indeed. Have enough armor, so we're just going to deal the damage immediately, I guess. Yeah. Actually, no. We can gain this armor again for the blessing. Then deal that. Do that. The cool thing about the regrowth is because I have the sapling, eventually this will start generating extra die for me per turn, which is the whole point of it, for the overflow effect, right? Such as the blessings as well. Like, that's the whole point of me using them in the way that I have. I will admit, the removal of the status potion for this boss fight, really good, and that's kind of something that I was not expecting to happen, but I'm kind of glad it did happen. So here, I will cast this first. It does lower 2 of them, but I get the extra die immediately. And then we'll do Spirit Arrows once. So technically I am gaining like a power every turn, which counts as 2 power, and then losing 2 attacks. So I only gain like 2 attack a turn instead of what I normally would, but that's not bad. I'm like getting so much armor that it's kind of like negligible anyway. Yeah, let's just deal damage. And that turns that into a 2, which then becomes 2 more power. This is very interesting with the Mystic Hammer. I mean, I've seen the combo before and, like, thought about it in my head, but, yeah. 5 life and a dream, folks. 5 life and a dream. Oh, dodge potion is delightful. We'll take the shard, and then Onslaught is something we really want. This is another payoff card, so we don't need it. Intervention. Intervention is kind of better than what I currently have with the upgrade. Because I have a chance of gaining power and also doing that, but I'm relying on the blessings in a way that I don't really want to let them go. So my thought is, like, Cultivate Might disappears, and then, because I did say, like, Cultivate Might and versus the thing that I'm trying to choose is not the best. Gives me defensive, still give me power, and then I can basically, like, look at gaining more blessing overall, just as a general thing. Could just do this, but no, we do this and this one because I don't... Actually, I should have enough defense. Yeah, this should be the point on that one. That means I probably can get rid of the power gain and not go for more power gain, which I should reroll these then. Or do we take Onslaught just to have a targetable effect? There are better spells than Onslaught. War Strikes is interesting. Intervention is interesting. I'm going to reroll. I'm going to gamble on this. And Carapace is another good defensive spell. But I do want to keep the blessings around, which is the problem. But Anointed Impact I will take as an offensive opportunity spell to actually be able to cast on repeat. I think Cultivate Might can go, because I don't think it really works the build I want. This can go in there to then give me that. And now, having this castable multiple times seems like a really good idea. Right? For every, like, to spend 1 and give it a charge. Which means that I can cast it repeatedly, like, in, like, quick succession, one after the other. Extra damage seems nice as well, but I think this is the way we want to go. And then we can figure out, like, does the power scaling trigger twice on it? Or do we go with this to give more flexibility? No, I think I need to give them more armor to make sure I'm stable first, right? Yeah. Seems a weird path, but I think this is for the best. We're not losing Spirit Arrows. The Crisis Orb is, like, immediately the thing I would love. Let's go for this. We get a rune, which is 8 damage, but I lose 1 charge. That would be nice. To be honest, it's actually kind of a good idea, like if I get the upgrade to it. But no, I might need that to be able to cast multiple times. No, I guess we're going... Yeah, let's do this Elite Valve. Let's try it. We've got to work our way through our problems. Spirit Arrows is not a bad shout against this particular boss, so got to bear that in mind. I guess we'll upgrade this straight away first to do the Prowl to gain more armor as well. So that rolls that down to a 1. That becomes a 2, so we'll use it again because might as well at this point. Could gain more armor. Or we could just do 5 damage 4 times, deal 20 to it. Or 16 damage. So that's 20 damage versus... I made the wrong decision. Never mind. Well, the 6 is really useful. We'll take that. Do the 2 there to chuck that into there to get a reroll. Do it again, in my opinion. The 2 doesn't matter. A 4 I can cast immediately, so put this 4 into there. Random, really. That was random. And then just gain lots of armor. Sometimes you have to laugh, right? You have to laugh at the randomness that the game gives you in some cases, right? So let's consecrate ourselves first. Thank you, we'll do that again. It was so nice he did it twice. The 6 for the armor seems great. I could turn this to a 4, which actually is probably a good idea. In a way. The main reason for that is I was going to cast this at least once. Which is kind of like a good idea, and then we just gain more armor again. This is why Prowl is so important, and the fact that we've got the tenacity to keep our stuff as such is really working out. That's another 6. Cool. Guess we'll chuck that in there. Gain all the armor we can for a turn. Separate that out. That's another good shot. But we want to get another 5 instead. So first we'll do this with the 3. Then we'll cast this for the 5. Deal damage to him to make sure we're taking him out. And then do that. Gain armor. Now I would like the doubling effect with power if I can get it. So decisions. Just cast this 4 times. Do that to roll those. Do it again. A 6. That seems delightful. Now I could defend myself a little bit here, which I think is a really good idea. To kill one of those off. Just so I don't take too much damage. The issue I have is the weakness they keep applying to me. It's becoming very annoying. You know? Like, it's lucky that I actually have the spirit arrows to kind of deal with this stuff. Otherwise, I'd probably be in a lot worse state than I actually think I am in. So, the 4 can't go anywhere, but I could generate a 5, so let's do that. Getting that first. That can go over here. Can't kill that one off, but I can kill that one off to at least defend a little bit and then gain more armor. Yeah, I'm panicking about losing this at 5 health, but I gain so much armor per turn that they give me a turn, like, it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna have that turn and I'm gonna run away with it. Use this first, then do that. Oh, cool. The kill. Yeah, but now I think we are set up. We're in a good spot. We're in a good spot. Aspect of Earth is something I would consider taking in this case, but to be honest, we need the Soul Stone, so let's take that while we can. If we're arguing about stuff and kind of like what's going on, what do I want to do with things, I probably want to like increase the usage of this while I can now. Soul Stone is something we need to do with the boss, so we'll worry about that in a bit. Gain health, gain Sacred Tea, that seems like a really good idea, but yeah, that's actually fine, don't care about that, so we'll take that and the tea. Go into a fight. So single target enemies are going to be really good for me. Multi-target ones like this one here are going to be not a grand time, and especially when they're gaining thorns. So let's just take my tea to get some setup if we can. I guess we're going to be doing this straight away to at least get rid of any issues. That rolls to a 4. Get that into a 6, gain some defense. Do the same again. Put the 4 in there, I guess. Or do we look to try and kill stuff with the Anointed Impact? I've got enough. Yeah, I think we just do the Anointed Impact here. Rather than try and get more armor and kill these guys off that gain the thorns, because they'll be a problem. And then kill this one off as well, because the barbed one's going to be annoying, the plated ones are fine. I can deal with the others. I already got 8 armor, so I don't need to armor up this turn, so that is delightful. Although we do get some good armor. With that being the case, we'll still gain the power though, because that's always a good idea. Turn that to a 5. To deal that damage there. Turn that to a 5. To deal damage there again. Do love this, it's working out so well. And then yeah, I guess we use Spirit Arrows twice. It's such good damage, the Spirit Arrows. Like once you start scaling, it's ridiculous. And again, I've already got the defense set up, so we're not worried there. Play that, put that in there. We'll use the Consecrate immediately. Gain 6. Let's try and generate some of the die, because that would be nice. 2 1s. Interesting. Not quite what I wanted, but I can just get the kill on one of them, so I might as well do that rather than gambling it. Cast that. And then do some cheap damage, and then set that up. Yeah, I think Tenacity was a really good pickup for this run, and the Mystic Hammer, I think, although it's helping, is probably also a bit of a detriment as well, so, like, it's kind of... It's neither here nor there, right? It's not bad, but it's not good either, is what I would probably say. And there's the kill. Now, I think that's the one thing to watch out for with that Mystic Hammer. I think I just need that little bit more power gain, and maybe it might be worthwhile. Okay, this is where Stone Meld might be actually a good choice. Tracking is terrible, I'm not taking that. Why is Stone Meld a good choice? Because with Prowl, I could really, like, set that up, and then we just need to, change this into something else, but the issue is I can't, like, use that and other things, so, like, doubling my block on repeat for 7 could be really useful, so I'm gonna pick it up as just, like, I'm gonna keep this in the back pocket. Like I said, like, most things, you just need that one set up. We're gonna just heal here first for this boss fight, rather than do anything else. Actually, should we? Yeah, we should. As long as we survive, we're still in good stead, so there is nothing much we need to worry about other than surviving. With this guy here, it's starting us off, he doesn't do much damage, so we can actually sort of like push our advantage early, which is going to be a good idea to do that. So let's do that, shall we? Into a 4. Yeah. Just get as much defense, as much power as we can every turn for a bit. Because I should be able to outscale him on defense anyway, every single turn, so I'm not really worried on that front. What I would be worried about is, like, other stuff happening, so yeah. We'll just do this first, because that will give me that trigger. Gives me the 4 anyway. So we'll use that to gain more armor. Then get that to be a 4. And then do we just deal damage? No, we turn it to a 6, don't we? Gain armor. Give me all the blessing. So again, that goes there. Now, 5 I can't use anywhere else other than this place, so we'll use that there. And then I guess we're just gaining more armor. Because that's like 12 and that's another 12. So we got 24, they're doing 16. So we're up in armor anyway. We need to start thinking about taking the action to deal damage though. So that's something to bear in mind. That is something to bear in mind. Yeah, but I'm not even using this in the way that I should be either, which is kind of the problem. Oh, I should not have done that. Oh well. Because I have to do this, which is not really great. Gain armor. I can use the 4 here to get a 4 on that. And then we'll start doing some damage. Again, the Spirit Arrows and the power gain on that is kind of cool, I guess. Yeah. So I might as well level that up first, and lowering all of these seems like a really good value proposition. Okay. Do that again then. Turn that into a 3, I guess, and then just like Spirit Arrows twice. Random. The main thing is I'm still getting a good amount of defense and stuff, right? There's nothing anyone can really do about it. And now I'm keeping around the sapling die on repeat, so that's pretty good. Do that into there. Upgrade this. Into a prowl. Into another prowl. Into an upgrade on that die to then deal that damage again. Like, when we kill this off, we'll be pretty good because, like, he won't deal the same amount of damage anymore, which is kind of like the whole point. Do that first. Do a 2 into a 4. Use the 6 there. Put the 4 down. Into a 6. Do I gain armor here, or do I still deal damage? The only issue I want is I just want to be able to gain more power, really, at the moment. Like, I think my setup's really good, and I'm really defensively orientated, so, like, I can do a lot of things. The issue I have is, like, I don't have, like, enough stuff to kind of deal with the problems I have. In a way, right? Level that up, and then deal damage 3 times. Do it again. So what I'm trying to do at the moment is trying to figure out, like, how would I improve this build, right? Where would I go? What would I do? What would I change out? At the moment, Anointed Impact is probably the only one I would say I'd be taking out for anything else, because it doesn't really scale with the power I want, but then it's like the only thing I can actually target stuff with, so I would need something really good to make me make that decision change, right? This kind of combo here is really good in setting myself up into actually being able to cast all the things I want and getting all my defense, so I don't really want to give that up for no reason either. The other thing is when I have the defensive tools I got even in the background, which we've picked up this stone meld. I didn't put this soulstone in. Oh well. I knew I was forgetting something. There'll be someone telling me, being like, you should have done that. You're a moron. You completely forgot. And I'll be like, yeah, I am a moron. I did completely forget. That in there. That becomes a 2 to go in there. That rolls to a 4. That 4 can go in there. That one can go in there as well. That can go in there to generate that. And then we can use this. Mind you, 23 damage like 4 times, 21 damage 4 times. It's still pretty good. I do like this. Like, at the moment, it's neutral, right? I still do the same thing every turn anyway. I'm still scaling at the same rate, but an extra bit of power scaling, and suddenly it gets ridiculous. So that's the thing we've got to focus on, right? Into a 4, that becomes a 3. I can go to there, then we use that 4. Man, imagine I did like upgrade this a little bit and like keep casting it. I cast it twice per turn now, so it does a lot of damage if we focus on that playstyle. I guess we kind of can, really, can't we? Like, there's nothing stopping us. We'll use that in there, to be honest. Because we're just going to go and upgrade that. Do it again. Just get me more die, because that seems like a good idea. Use the 5 to kill something off, maybe. Worry about that afterwards. Yeah. Kill that one. Love how that all missed all the stuff that I actually wanted to hit, but... Hey, when you got like 177, so 165 armor, and like, are you really gonna complain? Well, you all died to pretty much like one shot, so, have fun. This build is taking shape. So we did have a little bit of a rough start, I'm not going to deny that. Apply 1 status effect. This doubles my power gain for me losing a die. Okay. If I had something better than this pearl, I'd be picking this up immediately. Right? Just because it would double my power gain every turn because it applies the status effect. But I probably should go something else and I should re-roll these, so that's what we're doing. Splitting a die seems brilliant, actually. Applying weak to me is probably not great, but it would be good enough. And the crooked die to receive a curse to turn something into a 1 actually works to my advantage. I think splitting the die is better, just because it doesn't have a negative thing to it. Glint Glaive is the upgrade we'll take. That is brilliant. You're getting swapped out. If I disenchant you, I don't get anything back, so there's no point disenchanting it immediately. And... I gain power, I get the Glint Glaive, this is scaling, this is scaling. Prowl is really good for defense. This is my power gain. This is kind of the setup though that works, makes everything. It's the glue that holds everything together. Right. Admittedly, like if I get rid of this power scaling, so these two work together, right? That's the whole point of them. This is just general defensive tool, which is really good, and then these two kind of work together alongside the rest of this stuff. So like these three are a combo piece. I would need something to kind of break the combo piece to not benefit. This is also working with the power scaling and also works against it at the same time. This is all my defensive stuff, really, alongside this, so like I don't really want to get rid of those. So if we're going to get rid of something, it will probably be the spirit arrows currently at the moment, and the Glint Glaive I can use once per turn, so yeah. But it's only if I need to go for defense tool, so I'm just thinking about what I'm going to replace Soulstone with to get it on the final boss. It also depends what the final boss is, and it's the dragon, Braxis. And during normal battles, enemy have 30% max health. Enemies start with one death receiver wounded. When an attack spell is reduced attack by 3 this turn. That is fine, we'll take dueling. And I would like to gain more shards, because we've got that. I could do it to a 5, which would be pretty good, doubling its effect. But do you want to go shop or ritual stone? I guess we'll go ritual stone, then we get the elite fight here, and then we could go for a second elite fight if we want to as well. 2 upgrades could be pretty useful for my build, I think. So the main thing to start off with is I want to be able to roll lots of die. Put the prowl down. It'll become 1s, but they'll become 2s next turn. Infected for 3, that sounds like a delightful thing for me to hit. See, like this now, I don't really need to worry about anything else. I can just leave these things to do whatever. That becomes infected, lots of stuff gets infected. That is really bad, but also fine, I guess. Try and get as much armor as I can here. And just pass the turn, I think. No, we just put these in there for now. We keep hold of these. I like the fact that I'm generating 2s thanks to this a lot more consistently than 1s, right? I think it's something you don't really realize until after the fact, that like how hard it is to maybe generate some of this stuff. Like that's already at 42. Yeah, maybe I don't need to worry about spirit arrows and power gain now when we just get rid of this if we get the option. It seems great, but Glint Glaive scales enough by itself that I don't really need to worry about it. I could have actually got another one there, but another sapling die. Well, we're getting 2 more anyway, I guess. That 5 can go into this. That there, that becomes a 2. It's gonna start doing some damage. And voila. Hurt myself in some ways or shapes or forms. So yeah, I think Spirit Arrows and the Soap Power might be things we just get rid of actually now. Although they are kind of like really good for the build I'm trying to accomplish, I don't think they're necessary. Which is kind of sad when you really think about it. Just take that guy out straight away. No need to worry about it. Gain my 12 armor, I guess. Oh no, we'll gain the Consecrate first. Gain that. Do it again. And then, I guess raise one of those up. So now casting Glint Glaive is kind of my main focus. So we've gone through several different builds, really, like looking at our playstyle with this at the moment, right? I think the Blessing game is still really important, but it's the sort of setup that gives you my armor that's the most important bit. And playing around that's like my main priority, not anything else. Although, like, having this as like a supplement to the build is not bad, right? And I think that's kind of the thing that I'm kind of like not focusing on as much as I probably should do, right? Because like it's actually generally kind of like semi-helping with the build a little bit. Well, I could just gain more Blessing and focus on that. And preferably that's what I should be doing anyway, right? Deal 70 damage. Sounds great. So I can still defend quite well. Okay, I got enough die now to probably both one-shot these guys anyway, so... One-shot that one. He gets to 20, and then we just go and do this. The issue is the Glint Glaive could only be 1 attack per turn, but if I got enough defense, I don't need to worry about it. That's too late for this. Pox Flare is kind of interesting. This is kind of interesting. Just an extra bit of free defense added to the build. But no, I can guess I get something better, but if I'm doing that, we're selling this anyway, so yeah. So I think I'm going to make the decision now. We're going to get rid of Soap Power. Getting rid of Spirit Arrows. I know. It's very, very disappointing of me. Gonna keep the Glint Glaive. And Gleaming Exterior Consecrate. keep the meld, the stone meld, and that's going to go in here. We're going to put this down to... I guess we'll give it 2 charges. Why not, actually? That seems like a great idea. And then... because this only rolls a 1 or a 4, it seems terrible in my opinion. If I get to roll that again, like, that also will also give me a lot more back in return. A 5 or a 6. Yeah, let's upgrade that. And then for now, my secondary attack will be the Anointed Impact for the moment, and I'll just go to Soul Stone when we need it. I'll go to shop, because I might as well see what we get. Infuse Scales. Seismic is actually pretty good. I will buy that, because that beats out the Anointed Impact in my opinion. Because it just casts itself for free as well, and we can also upgrade it to cast every single time. We know that we don't have the power scale anymore, so it doesn't really matter on that front, but still, it is optional. There is this that we can gain Drain from, but by the time we'll lose this extra power anyway. Let's look at the artifacts we got. Every 2 times per countdown spell, I gain 1 charge. We do only have 2 countdown spells. 3 countdown spells, which that will cast itself on repeat to give something 1 charge. Every turn, every time you apply afflictions, deal 4 damage to the front enemy. I think Tempest is pretty good actually for this. Just an extra spell charge would seem pretty good. Disenchant the Block Sphere here to get another artifact. Seems a good idea. On a potion use, gain 2 power and so on and so forth. Spells have X and have +1 effects. Does that matter to ours? No, it does not. None of our stuff actually matters to that effect. Whenever an enemy attacked by an enemy, gain 2 fury. I think these are actually worth re-rolling. I got nothing to sell to re-roll. That's terrible. I guess we just gain the concoction of power gain, or... yeah, I guess we'll just take that. It's terrible, but to the Ritual Stone. Target spell gains plus attack this turn. Roll one of those to a silence die, which puts silence 2 on there. Interesting. Lathful, kind of like the idea of that, to give something extra charges. And I can just roll 1 on 3, and 3 of them become Lathful on 4. I'll just roll one of those to get a muted die, which is actually pretty good. I can do that once every turn. And then we get Spell Echo on something else. Yeah, let's do that. The Spell Echo on something like the Glint Glaive could be really good. The Stone Meld and all that sort of stuff, or gaining everything there. Seems kind of good. Let's go fight an elite battle and see how we do. We have come back from us being literally at 5 health. Also from my poor decision making, I might add. That really was my terrible decision making. Okay, so we have this lovely start, which is not going to go down very well for me, but we're going to focus on what we can do, not what we should do. So let's set myself up. That's a 5. That is brilliant. I can't gain a 6 anymore, so that's not any point in me worrying about. And put that 2 in there as well, the exact same thing. That gets an overflow, and we get another 2. I should gain defense hit. Do we do it again, or do we just double it? I think we just double it, so we still keep these as 1s. We can put a 1 in there to keep the 6, and then maybe put the other 1 in here. And then turn. So we still got 24 with the Stone Meld, and then we can double that again. Okay, so they gain the Faded. That's absolutely fine, really, for the thing that I'm trying to do, because I don't... actually, not really, but, you know, better than nothing, I guess. Let's try and generate some extra value die along what we're trying to do here. Do that again. Overflow, that's another 6. That is delightful. I don't have another 2, but I do have this, so I guess that can go down there. You gotta remember, this casting itself is pretty good. Although it does lose damage, but still fine, right? I'm not really using it for the thought that I was trying to use it for. Should we just gain 36 rather than going for 12 here? I guess so, right? Because that's, again, that's a lot of damage. And then we can just do it again to double my damage, my armor again. That actually got a thing. Okay, I don't need Prowl anymore. Simple as. Yeah. I think we're in a good spot. See, this is what I mean, like, once you get a setup that kind of works, like, you're not really that worried about anything else. So, like, nothing can kill you, and nothing should kill you, but you know you got to be very wary of it still. Right? So, like, for me at the moment, like, Link Glaive is the only thing that's gaining damage now by itself, although I do want to upgrade this to, like, gain more also. But then eventually I'll just one-shot this guy and there'll be no issues, right? But for me at the moment, the best thing I can do is just kind of, like, try and gain everything. So we'll cast this. Roll 2 of those spells. Great. Only if I had a 1. Does it always do the rightmost spell? Count down the leftmost spell. Always does the leftmost spell. So I want something I can keep continuously casting for free if we were going that route. Which would be nice to have the power gainer back, but, you know, I'm not going to be dumb about it. ×2 faded on that seems terrible. But, oh well, I guess I should do it. No, I don't need to do that, do I? Muted it. Well, I'll put it this way. I don't think I can die, but I don't know how I'm going to kill them. Because eventually it's going to come around and bite me in the backside where I can't actually, like, deal with this, because he's got the deplete effect continuously hitting all my spells. I need to be able to cast this, but we're not casting it this turn anyway, so... Best thing I can do is upgrade that to a 4 and then generate more 4s and go from there. Because we'll generate 2s. The main thing is they're gaining armor, isn't it? So... let's start casting. That's the main point we want. Get more die and then go from there. Stone Mouth's pretty cool. So yeah, this is the problem now, is them gaining more and more on that, which I'm going to have issues with. But this will still gain power, right? So, could have upgraded one of those. How has that still got faded on it? We're going to hold off for the next turn for that one. Let's just double my armor again, shall we? And then do it again. Well, I don't think I can die, but I don't know if I can kill my opponent. That's the only problem. That is the only problem I have. But should we really worry about that? Should we really worry about it? main reason for that was the fact that I could cast it next turn again. So I don't get this whole stupid depleting presence continuously hitting me. And hopefully I get enough 2s and stuff to actually warrant casting. A 60, cool. Voila. That one was one of those fights where I thought might have been in trouble for. Gleaming Force. That is actually pretty good. I think Prowl is out of here now, and I think I will delete it just to kind of show you how efficient I am going to be. I think Gleaming Force is absolutely brilliant, really fits into the build, and I will pick it up because it is a brilliant offensive tool that I kind of need. I'm not using it for the damage, I'm using it for this gain to help with this scaling, so we're going to put that on there. So now we're gaining 4 attacks, so this will just keep scaling, scaling, scaling. And we got the Stone Meld with the Gleaming Exterior to really kind of size that out. And yeah, I guess that is the build, really. Do we want that, or do we want this? An extra one of those? Or no, we'll make this easier to cast, I think. Make that easier to cast, because I might have trouble casting this on repeat. And then, yeah, let's go for the other elite fight. Why not? I might need the other thing. Lose 2 spells. And then gain an artifact. I can lose Tempest and choose to gain that. I'll take 20 damage and gain a shard. All of these already have upgrades, except the Stone Meld. I think that, oh, that has extra charge. Yeah, so if I'm getting a shard, I want to have something else. So I'll just lose 2 spells here. I'm losing both of these because I don't really care about them. The artifact could be more important here. Slightly about gain 2 barrier. Every third turn gain a dodge. Seems pretty good. And now we're probably casting more than 8 spells. That charm seems pretty good to gain a dodge every third turn. But I probably want some setup. It doesn't make a difference. So that helps me gain barrier, which I do keep. But it will eat into the tenacity, which I don't really have other ways to gain any other block, but it means I can't gain other blocks as well, so I'll reroll those. On enemy death, gain 9 block, that does not matter. Every 2 attacks we get weak, apply weak. Every spells deplete, gain 1 fury. Let's gain the fury, why not? You have more active room. No. Nice that it tells you that I could put the spell in there. That is kind of nice. Too bad I didn't remind me about the spirit arrows earlier in my idiocy. But hey, guess what? I could use Soulstone now. That's just brilliant, that is. The fact that these trigger on themselves is so good, right? And do that, then do the attack. Could kill that off, but there's no point. Yeah, no pass turn. The main thing is this does give this 4 attack extra, and then all of these do as well every time I cast them, so like, this is why this setup's so good. And now I already have 12 armor, so if I gain any more armor, it's a side bonus, right? The overflow triggers, that's great. Do that in there. More overflow. The 6 and the 1 to start with, to double my block. The 5 and the 2 to double my block again. Let's turn these die into something that may be somewhat useful to me. That becomes a 3, we can chuck that in. So you deal 7 damage with that. And then deal 1 damage, I guess, with it as well. Doesn't do any damage now. That's kind of brilliant. Just turn this to a 6 for the overflow trigger, and then just get another 4 damage on this. So we're going to make sure this thing one-shots you. I don't care about anything else. Or one-shots these guys. Lots of 6s, lots of 2s. I will cast the 2 here first. That's a 6. Another 2 going there. That's a 6 that overflows to a 5. I will check a 5 in here because I don't have anything else. Then I guess we're using this to double my block. That sounds like a good setup, doesn't it? Why don't we just do this and do 85 damage twice? 86. Almost. There we go. That's 80 damage, isn't it? 180. I need to cast Gleaming Force again. For 0. There we go. I gotta love the echo on that. That's actually worked really well with the build. I did not think we'd go into this sort of build in the end, but Bastion would seem interesting, but again, we've already got what our Bastion thing is working at. Primitive Strike is pointless, but we'll take the Bastion because it's the more expensive spell overall. Gaining 5 power, we lose it anyway, so there's no point taking this potion. So we'll skip. Yes. Close that up. To the battle. Ooh, no. What else can we do with this? I guess I could still keep casting it and getting all the upgrades for it and stuff, couldn't I? But then it's just like, as soon as I get like defense going, like what do I need? This is the problem now. Like I've got such a good run that I don't want to do anything else to it because I feel like I'm going to break it. Ooh. This is the Dice Eater, isn't it? So I've got to spend all my dice if I can. Cool. Now we know. And that 4 can go in there. Yeah, so I can't keep the regrowth stuff anymore, which is kind of disappointing, but that's fine. We got enough stuff I can cast things on anyway, without having to keep hold of die. I actually take damage from that. That's hilarious. Interesting. Applying Potency and Unravel. Remove a charge each turn, but I gain extra die. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't think you'd focus on doing that. Well, you're probably going to die before that ends up like being an issue anyway, right? So I'm doing like 140 damage at the moment. That's 7. So we can just double my block here. To make sure we have defense. Yeah, eat those die, I don't care. I don't want to actually cast those. They seem terrible. But the potency seems really nice, so we'll admit that. You know, I was always having trouble casting my spells. It just found really ridiculous, so... And I guess we're just waiting now to set that up for the kill, aren't we? Because that's 180, which is, yeah, nearly, yeah, so that's completely fine. I'm already defended anyway, so we're just waiting for next turn. $91 for the 180. I like to see one-shots. You like to see one-shots. We all like to see one-shots. Good old Glink Dive. Decent spell to fill in the gap, maybe. That'd be nice, but I don't think I actually need it. Every 6 rolls get +2 on Bloom Bolt as well, which would be another way for me to get scaling. It's kind of interesting. I should be rolling a lot of 6s and a lot of dice. I might put that in. Pick it up. Okay, so use the Void Essence, get the Void Key. No. Actually, don't really care at this point, like... I'll keep the shard. So I'm going to Soul Stone this at some point, and then maybe we'll one-shot them later. And we got to make sure we have enough defense to kind of cope with everything else. That is our target for the day. That is what we're aiming for. Please be aware of the game. Cap at 3 in there. We can do this though to gain armor again. Set up some defense early to make sure we have enough, and then I guess we'll just start dealing damage to the hands, because like it doesn't matter where the damage goes. I just need to make sure we have enough. I should have used this potion as well before, but oh well. Use it next turn. Ooh, predicted. I mean, I can gain more armor than they can deal damage, I think, eventually, so I don't think I'm actually in that much of a trouble. So, we can kind of avoid most of the things anyway, when it comes to, them kind of casting stuff and things like that as well, so... That comes at 2, we'll put that in there. That gives an overflow. Well, we'll put... No. Can we cast this potion? No, we might need that potion for later, so let's hold on to it. Yeah, I guess we'll just, Oh no, you predicted. I feel terrible about that. You know what, why don't you predict again, and I can just gain more armor. And then I need to make sure that we have the ability to set this up. I am tempted to use this with this and see if do I get like 4 max life. Does it apply twice or once? Well, there's not much I can do about that. Like, if you hit the one spell I don't want you to hit, like, I'm gonna still cast it at this point. Because, like, I think I can outscale their attack gain against my armor gain. So, I don't think I actually need to worry about it at all. Anymore. Which is a shame. 5 and a 2, that is brilliant. We can put that and that in. And I guess we'll just start dealing a bit of chip damage to actually like the hands and stuff, and then eventually we'll one-shot our opponent. Play 6 weak to me. Yeah, because like these hands and the power scaling they get does not matter at all. At least not to me. Like, I gain too much armor and stuff, and eventually, like, I will just one-shot the boss, which I guess was what we're going for here. Yeah, but I mean, like, what's everyone else's thoughts of this game? Like, do you enjoy it? Do you like it? Are you having fun with it? Are these sort of like walkthrough guides and run-through guides that I'm kind of like doing a little bit, or at least like talks? I guess they're talks more than anything else. Kind of like really kind of giving you the idea of sort of like how you want to target things, how you want to play the game. Sort of giving you more insights, like what course of action you want to take when you're playing this game. I'm kind of interested, right? We're cast now, we'll leave it. But you are getting the salts on you, and then deal damage. I don't think they'll ever kill me, but because I'm doubling and doubling and doubling and doubling is so much better than just anything else. So that's a 2, that's a 2 there. Oh no, you predicted the spell I can never cast. Oh, we can keep a die. And a 4, and a 4. 5 and a 2 to double my armor. And then cast that 3 times, I guess. Well, we're nearly there. I guess we can hit him now for a little bit, which is never going to kill these hands. I think there's an achievement for it as well, so that's also one of the reasons why we're not attacking, not trying to kill the hands, really. I don't know if I've got that achievement or not, but it's definitely on my list of stuff I would like to achieve. Okay, I think we got enough armor, don't you think? Maybe we should start being more offensive with our casts and stuff, so maybe we should start looking towards that play. Once more, once more. Now the growth's gone, I think we're in the clear. Cast this twice, attack him, do a lot of damage, that usual stuff. Get good setup, and then we'll be fine. Okay. That's 11, that's 1 cast, so we can do that straight away. Doesn't matter if he's got defense, I'm still going to cast it. I will... yeah, we'll still cast. And then the next time we cast it, we should be in for the kill. So, yeah. Man, the blessing bonus is just insane, I will admit that. Like, the fact I get 5s and 6s out of this, which just generate more value, and we'll put that in there first, do that again. It's just kind of like what makes this build tick as such. So that's a 10. And a 4. So let's just deal damage, I guess. So we might as well gain more out of it if we can. Do it again. Do it again. And attack. For 181. There we go. Now, I've done that without actually taking up the hands. That's an achievement for you. Look, Ma. No hands. Man, this is going to be a long run. We're even going into the Void Zone as well, the Shattered Realm. Heal for 15, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Let's move on to the lake. Lose Tempest. It's kind of absolutely fine to lose that and gain the gold. Lose the Iron Skin Potion seems fine as well. But we'll just swim through. I don't really care about taking some damage because the potion is actually worth more than that. We'll pay that gold, to be honest. Yeah. Losing max life as well would be fine. Gain 3 potions, enter a shop and trade. And 1 rune. The rune could be really useful. The shop, though, could be interesting, so I could get some really good spells. Impure Offering, for instance, is a good idea. Gaia's Wrath would be kind of cool. I'm going to pick up the Impure Offering, I think. Yeah, that seems a good idea to have that. And then I can just, like, instantly upgrade that to have that effect. So I can cast it more often. You get a bunch of Vex die, but I think that's fine. Thorns would seem interesting. Or the Foresight Potion, but yeah. We'll even carry on. Pay 1 shard and gain swiftness. Lose Bloom Bolt, which is absolutely fine, or Bastion. Yeah, I'll lose one of those. We'll take damage. I'm probably going to need to lose 2 spells anyway, if I remember correctly, so we'll take the damage here. And we'll lose 2 spells here. What's Retribution do? Yeah, I don't care about that. I mean, I do care about that. Lose 2 spells. There we go. Disturbance. Take 5 damage, use a spell. Take 5 damage. I'm at half health. That is absolutely fine. So, this fight's going to take a while. As you can probably imagine. We're going to start out by just doing whatever we can, to be honest. Indeed. So this is one of those ones where it's like I should just drink the potion and gain the armor. Got to 48. We should just, you know, defend ourselves quite well. The daze is working really well for the setup as well, so that's also a good sign, right? So that's something you gotta remember, like, because the fact that we have that setup is working really well in that case. Okay, that's a lot of 1s, which we can turn into other stuff as well. We'll keep one of them around, use that again. Because we drank a potion, we got to cast it for free. The 4 and 3 could go there. But let's gain armor first, do it again. 4 and 3. Then we're just going to go a 5 and a 4, I guess. And now, do we just go through, like, this Impure Offering loads of times? Or do we just stick here and get some damage in as well? Like, it makes no difference to me, I think, with the Impure Offering and having, like, all of this on repeat, so... we use this to actually, like, swap the eye around so they deal less damage repeatedly, right? I think that's always a good idea. And then just increase this. And I guess you're going here, then. Eventually this will one-shot someone, and that's all we wanted it to do, so... It won't be very long until it is, so... Get 1 Vex. Die. Not the 5. That's fine. Overflow triggers, that's great. Do that again. What's nice is the fact that I can keep doing that, and like there's no sort of like punishment for it. We attack this guy now because we don't want these guys having extra damage. Put the armor on that guy, and then increase that by 1, and then get lots of damage, lots of armor on that, and then deal a bit more damage there. We are nearly in a good spot. Ones and twos everywhere. Well, you just want to get rid of that, and get rid of that, and then put that in there, and then do that there, and this there, and everywhere. So I kind of got the armor to get rid of this time, so... yeah, moves that across there, cool. Not much else I can do except double my armor again. And just keep increasing this guy's attack until I can actually cast him. The main thing I want to do now is just get as many overgrowth triggers as possible, or overflow triggers as those. And then once all these are ready to be taken out, they'll be in good stead. So, let's start up with some rolls, get all the blessings done first, don't worry about anything else. And that's going to be our main point of call to begin with. And we'll do a 6 in there, and that can go in there, carry that over, take out the first guy because we don't care about you. Oh! No, you got the eye, that's terrible. Well, if you got the eye, I guess that's fine. It's better than the rest of them doing it. Trying to figure out, like, what's the worst one having the eye is going to do. I can't quite figure that out. Take damage, you. Oh no, that's got broken. This is what I mean, like, once you got defense set up, like, I can't be touched. It's, and I got so much blessing as well that it's kind of, like, ridiculous on just how much I actually do have. Yeah, we should actually probably attack first with these. Take this guy out, I guess, to kill. And then, yeah. Just try and scale some extra power against this guy. And then we should be good next turn. Shame you don't keep all of this stuff once you got set up, though. I'm a bit disappointed by that. Because it would be absolutely hilarious, like, one-shot someone and then be like, okay, next turn, we begin on the other guy. Okay, 900 health. How are we going to deal with you? I mean, to be honest, I shouldn't even bother. I should just use this and then look at setting up next turn on the block, right? But I think I can block all that if I get, like, a good setup, right? Like, split these die out to, like, kind of get an extra couple of die. I got a 5 and a 2, so we can put that in there. Turn that to a 4 as well. That in there. That and that doubles, so I actually have some defense. I probably should have cast that anyway. Guess it was a waste, really, but... What are you going to do, right? What are you going to do? Keep the die for next turn. And I guess I'll pop you in there to make sure you're easy to cast next turn. We take 12. It's an awkward start, that is, but this is fine now. I think the things have 100, isn't it? When they come in, so we can work around that. A 4 and a 5 can go there. Yes, the 6 can go here for efficiency's sake. That and that can then double again. Just make sure we have enough. That goes there. That goes there. Roll into that. And then end turn. Yeah, so he has a annoying thing to deal with, but that's fine. We can deal with that. We got 50 coming our way as well. That's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, I need to get a 2 somehow. Oh, we got 1 from there. Cool. Another 2. Nice. That's 6. That 5. That and that can go on there. Get that onto there. We're fully defended. Roll that anyway. Not that I care about using them. Then... this, and this. To attack that guy, take him out. Just don't want to deal with it. So if I can take it out now, it's actually kind of a good idea too. And then I guess we'll just ramp that up. Get rid of those die, don't care about them. Yeah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. We're in a good state. We don't need to worry about anything else. And eventually we'll just like 2-shot the guy or something like that, or 3-shot him, and everything should be fine. Ooh, a 2. That and that to set up more defense. Do it again, just so we're going to be safe for long term. Like, the main thing is like having enough DPS and making sure that you're safe and enough defense. So like early game on this run, we definitely focused on making sure I could defend myself even if it was unoptimized, but still having enough, but we didn't have enough offensive power to originally sort out what we needed to. And then like if I didn't get the spirit arrows when I did, and if I actually applied them the first time around, you can quite see we would have lost because we just didn't have enough damage to actually sort stuff out in. So it's that point where it's like you really kind of got to like think about like it's a balancing act with like what you want to be able to accomplish versus what you can accomplish, right? Which is quite a hard thing to try and kind of sort out sometimes. This thing isn't killing me anyway at any point anytime soon, so even if I had all of the of these attached to me, like nothing's happening. Let's turn that into a 6 as well. Just because that will generate another one for next turn also. Plus the dice rolls, so. Lost a wound. Yes, exactly what I wanted. Cast that in there. We'll get rid of some 4s in this and some 2s because we can actually use those, so might as well be efficient about it if we can. Just limit the number of things we can actually do that may hurt us in the long run. We'll just cast both of those in there because I don't really care about them. Again, we're just going to stack up some more Gleaming Force, I think. So that seems like a good idea. Now, this is a decision that I'm going to think is both a good and a bad one in some ways, but I got enough defense, so I don't need to worry. But I'm thinking just setting up some Impure Offerings to help alleviate this scaling issue a little bit. We're going to get 3 Vex die, but like they could just become these anyway, or it might override them to become Vex die, right? So like we didn't get any of those even though we still cast them in the same way. And I don't care if these become 0 either. Like I might even cast them in some cases, like if I don't need to, right? So that's kind of like the thought process as such, so. And between that, like, I can turn those into sapling die. So we don't need to worry. Again, don't need to defend. We're just going to just do a bit of tip damage and then look to... Actually, no, we should probably cast. Yeah, like, turning that into that is so good. Works out so well for me. Nothing can kill me. And this is what I said, like, Stone Meld can... It's sometimes weird, right? Like, this is just now ridiculous because I have the opportunity to set up. If I didn't have the opportunity to set up and was, like, these were very aggro, this would be an issue. So, like, boss fights, Stone Meld's pretty good. Again, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I always underestimate stuff, but I don't mind underestimating it if I feel like, you know, I might have the advantage in doing so. And just put that in there, or lower something down. That's kind of the ideal one to do. Put that over there. Just cast this now. We can. Do that again. I love how many regrowths I'm getting on this, though. It's kind of hilarious. So 10, 10, 3, and a 1. Deal the damage. And turn. Oh no! Rupture. I'm really gonna love those. What will I ever do with all these rupture die attached to me on repeat? Just get rid of that. Put that in there. Do that in there as well. 6 and overflow trigger. That 6 can go in there then. And then what? 2 and 5. And then we'll look to get the kill in the next couple of turns, I think. So next turn we should be having the kill. But yeah. Not a bad run at all. Very, very on the edge, though, I will admit this one. So I think it's a good show of, like, having to think about your problems, but also playing smart. And, like, having to switch our build round based upon what criteria we were getting, and it actually worked out really well. And I really will admit, the MVP of this run has to be Stone Meld. It's one of those things, like, when you get the combos and they work really well and you get the setup for them, you can do a lot of things. And I think the only reason that we did so well with Stone Meld is because of the fact that we had ways to generate extra die through the overflow mechanic with the blessings, which you can see we had lots of blessing, and just having the glint clay for that 1 bit of damage is a good one-shot build. But yeah, really do like that. So yeah, that is our over-analyzing Hazel for SpellRogue. So again, if you do enjoy these types of videos, do leave a like, subscribe to see more, and next time, I think we're going to do good old Lapis. So I'll see you then.